Coach Brandon Billups, very energetic young man. Former head coach at Central Cabarrus and East Rowan High Schools, Kenneth Mcclamrock, one of our big football experts. And then last but certainly not least, we have Josh Kroll, former Christ the King head coach, former offensive coordinator at multiple schools. And we are Football Focus Weekly.
All right, good evening, everyone. This is Pep Man Matt Maher. Welcome back to our latest edition of Football Focus Weekly. I'm going to give you a quick rundown of the show tonight. Very shortly, we're going to bring on UNC Greensboro, head football coach Kevin Kimble. Get to know him a little bit and his program, doing some good things up in Greensboro. Then we're going to jump into sound off early because if you follow us regularly, we've had a lot of talk going on all of our social media platforms about so many different things in the sporting world, from high school to college to pro. So we'll give the panel a chance to talk about all those experiences, and then we'll jump into our NFL picks and who's our loser of the week this week, and we got a very special video for the loser of the week this week. And then we'll go into our segments, as we always do, to kind of finish out the show a little bit. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm even remiss if I didn't mention the rundown. In the rundown, we're going to talk about, South Carolina football update with Joe Hughes, who's with us once again. Who's pretty much a regular part of the crew now, so we're glad to have him here with us. And then we'll talk about private school previews. We've got a couple of big private school games here in Charlotte. Providence Day hosting Country Day and Latin taking on Christian. And then we'll talk about CMS football a little bit. Practice has started, and I got a couple things I want to talk about with CMS football, some observations that have been going on. And then we'll go into our segments to finish the show. So without further ado, we're going to bring on our first guest, Kevin Kimball, who is the head coach of UNCG football. So let's bring him on the show right now. How are we doing tonight, Coach?
Oh, we're doing good. How about yourself?
Yeah, I'm doing great. Man. It's another fun night. We'll have a fun show tonight. We're glad to have you on to lead it off for us.
Hey, I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you had the time for us, man. So first off, talk to us a little bit about your personal background and kind of what led you to coming up and starting this football program that you have at UNC Greensboro.
Well, actually, I started coaching football, I think, around 2002. Little league football, probably like most of the guys. Did some football camps. I worked with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Anytime they came to Charlotte or South Carolina, I would help them run the camp when they came here. And about I think it was 2009, I helped out at North Gaston, the quarterback coach there. And let's see, probably a little after that, I was at North South Sports Academy in Matthews, running some camps there with the late Coach Jones. And then I wound up in South Carolina in Rock Hill. Program was called Franklin Christian Academy, and then they changed the name to Carolina Christian. But I was there for 3 years as the assistant head coach. Started out and the quarterbacks coach, recruit coordinator. So pretty much you name it, I've done it. The last 2 years I was the head coach of the program. And out of the 3 years, we won 2 championships. And one night I got a call from one of the coaches who was then at Chapel Hill coaching the club football team there. And he had invited me up to come coach there. And he left there and went to Greensboro and asked me if I would be interested. So, of course, I jumped at the opportunity to go coach at UNCG. So I got there. Actually, it was my first season. I was the assistant coach and the recruit coordinator and the quarterbacks coach. So I thought it was going to be a little bit different. I wasn't going to have as much responsibility as I did in Rock Hill, but it turned out to be pretty much the same. So last year we did pretty good. We won 5-3.
Nice.
We lost to Coppin State playing the championship against Ohio State. And Ohio State, they actually won it all. They went undefeated. But we had I think a steady 17 to 23 players. It wasn't bad, but it could have been better. So 20 was our first recruiting class. But with COVID, a lot of guys stayed at home and took classes online. And so right now we started practice, but I think we may have 15 guys out of practice right now. And I'm pretty sure most of it is because of COVID. So, of course, we're making the best of it, trying to install new offense, new defense. So the majority of our skill players are there. So it's looking good.
That's good. So talk to us a little bit. So UNC Greensboro is club football. So talk to us a little bit about club football. You know, how it works from an eligibility standpoint. What can players, get from participating in a club football program, and why is that something they should consider, for playing on the next level?
Well, right now, club football, well, anytime really, but for this particular season, with COVID not giving a lot of kids the opportunity to play football, not having a lot of film, if you come to UNCG and you play club football, it doesn't count against your eligibility. So you'll have whatever eligibility you come with, you'll leave with. You'll have college film. You'll have 20 plus college credit hours to take with you if you decide to transfer. There's no transfer porthole. There's no paperwork to sign. And then you're at a great university. It's a D1 school, and you have the opportunity to play in front of coaches who probably otherwise wouldn't even know who you are if you were from, say, California or Florida, Louisiana, or Texas. And you came here to play, you would get to play in front of coaches that had no idea you existed. So it's actually a win-win situation. And I know a lot of people are probably asking, well, how can you not lose eligibility? Well, the thing with that is, as long as you don't use, I think it's 20% of your games are not JUCO. So basically, if you don't play more than 2 JUCOs or more than 2 JV teams, then you're fine. Your players won't lose eligibility. So we're trying to set up our schedule just like that to play some D3 schools. Before COVID hit, we had Greensboro College on the schedule. So that was a big plus. We're trying to get more D3 schools to play us. So as long as we're playing D3 schools, the varsity team, and we are sticking to our club teams, then the kids won't lose their eligibility. Now, we play more than 2 JV or more than 2 JUCOs, then the clock starts to tick. So a plus for us is we can set up our schedule so that doesn't happen and give the kids the most opportunity to be successful. So that's how I want to structure the program. I want to put everybody in a position where they are successful, whether they decide to stay with us or they decide to leave and go someplace else.
Very good. Very good. So, Coach, what are some examples of schools or club teams that you guys do play on your schedule?
We have App State on our schedule. We have South Carolina Gamecocks. We have Coppin State. We have Longwood. We have George Mason. And we're actually in the Mid-Atlantic Eastern Conference. And we were in the Eastern Conference. We go play the winner of the Western Conference. And the Western Conference consists of Ohio State, Pitt, Toledo of Ohio, Miami of Ohio, and Wayne State.
Oh, wow.
So it's not just some guys throwing the ball around on Saturday. It's legitimate football. And some of the big schools, they have some guys who didn't make the varsity team on the bigger schools. Maybe a guy who's red-shirted or a gray shirt or something like that. They will go play club football. And that way they stay in the loop. And they get to play. So it's some really good competition. And like I said, it's not just guys throwing a ball around on Saturday. It's legitimate football. And actually, it probably equates to D3 football because at a D3, they don't offer the athletic scholarship. We don't offer athletic. We offer academic. So it's not much different. Only difference is I think that we are a D1 university. And you're getting a quality education. That's the bottom line.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And the fact that you can keep eligibility, still go to a good school, like you mentioned, and play, legitimate schools. Because I think, a lot of people out here, I think there's a bit of a misunderstanding that, like you said, it's just, something that you just come around and, grab, a few guys off the campus and, you're just playing whoever off the street. So it's good to get that understanding.
Yeah, because there's a lot of people that do think that, and we actually went to a camp not too long ago, a showcase, and a coach told the kid not to talk to us because it was nothing that we could do for him. We couldn't give him any money, and that's not true. If his grades are where they should be, he'll get some money. But if his grades are not where they need to be, of course he won't get any money because his grades don't say he needs to get a scholarship. So it's a big misconception, but
absolutely,
we deal with it, and we're going to work through it, and then we'll have the last laugh.
I like that, Coach. I like that, man. So, what kind of player would be a good fit for your program, in your opinion? The type of player that you're looking for, like situation-wise and all those things.
Actually, of course, I'm going for the smartest, fastest, biggest player that I can get here. Because the higher the GPA, of course, the chances of them getting accepted in the school are a lot greater. But I want to give anybody a chance that is willing to come in and put the work in, that is, number one, they're coachable, they're dependable, they're a leader, and they're going to come in and work hard. And that's pretty much what we're looking for. As far as if there's a particular size, of course, I want the biggest lineman that I could possibly get. And they're out there. And I honestly couldn't believe that there's kids out there that have the grades, they have the size, they have the talent, but they have no offers. And it's all because of COVID that these young men aren't getting the looks that they probably should get. But we're going to take advantage of it. And like I said, we're going to try to put these young men in a position for them to be successful. And if they want to transfer, we'll help them in that process as well. So it's not like, well, if you're going to leave me, you're on your own. We're not running that kind of program, because I got into coaching to help these young men. So I'm not going to turn my back on them. So it's about them, because if it wasn't for them, there would be no Coach Kimball, Coach K Square. It wouldn't be any me. So I try to do all I can to help them become successful.
Very good. Very good. So, Coach, for those players that you're looking for, we get questions all the time. How can I get exposure? How can I get looks? How can I get college coaches to look at me? What are some recruiting tips that you could share, for players out here trying to get that exposure and trying to, get looks and get onto a school such as yours?
Right now, go to as many showcases as you could possibly get to. Contact WEA. Any camps that are going on at Mountain Island Charter, you probably need to be there. This season, those have been some of the biggest camps that I've been to, or showcases that I've been to. And there's been a lot of college coaches there. Matthews Sportsplex, if there's a showcase, you probably need to be there. If you're on Twitter, don't just spam your information to every college coach that you see. Do your homework and look at the school and see if they actually fit, if they fit you. If your grades are where they need to be to get accepted into the school, if they offer what you're interested in majoring in, if they offer that. Look at what kind of scholarships you might qualify for at that school. And don't just fall in love with the football team and not the school, because one day that coach may be gone. He may have another job opportunity someplace else. He's gone. And now you're stuck at that school and you don't like it. So chances are you're probably going to go back home. So make sure it's a place that you can see yourself being for 4 years, and don't base your decision only on football. Make it overall the school and football, but mainly the school, because football, you may get injured, or like I said, the coach may leave and you're just there. So just make some wise choices and don't spam your information out to every college coach you see on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram.
Mm-hmm. Very good stuff, Coach. Very good stuff. And you mentioned the camps. You guys came to our Under the Lights camp at Mountain Island Charter, and you had several coaches out there. That was awesome. We're doing another one on Halloween night, so you're more than welcome to come if you guys are free. I know it's a little weird on the holiday, but that's what we had to do. So, but yeah, that's great advice right there, Coach. Coach, this was great. Thank you for your time, and we look forward to doing this, many times over again with you, and coming on the show and just kind of introducing us to what UNCG can offer as a football program. I think you guys are offering something that's unique, and I think we just lost them, but that's okay. So that was Coach Kevin Kimball with UNCG football. Club football, but it offers some different opportunities and some different things that your traditional football program doesn't offer. I think one of the advantages was if you play for them, you wouldn't lose eligibility. You may need a year to kind of get your some stuff together, get a better offer, get more looks, things of that nature. So I want to thank Coach for coming on. I think that was really, really informative, because there was a lot of misinformation out there about club football, and I think that helped hopefully, clear the airways a little bit about, what they truly offer over there. All right. So now, as I mentioned, earlier, we're going to do sound off early, because I think every one of us was on Twitter upset about something this past weekend in the sports world. So we got the whole crew here. I'm going to bring them on real quick before we go to starting sound off. So let's bring them in all their glory. So producer Brandon is not here with us. He had something that he had to run off and do. But, he's here in spirit as always. But all of our lovely friends are here with us as normal. Kenny is back after a nice restful week off. he earned some PTO, with all his segments, so we gave him a week off. He's refreshed and ready to go. And we're going to sound off with, as usual, the Juice Man. He is our leadoff hitter, and we're going to see what he's got to say. And I think it's going to be something that's pretty interesting. So here we go.
Juice Man in the building. Apologize for my tardiness. Had a meeting with my staff today with everything that came down from the message today from Governor Cooper. And prayers go out to anybody that's dealing with COVID-19 and everybody that's dealing with this issue in general, man. Prayers go out to everybody and the families that are working to get better and feel better. So my sound off this week is two-parted. Here's part number one. From our illustrious brother here on the show. This week, I'll explain why Clemson is a cheat code. UNC is who I thought they was. The disrespect toward the mighty Coach Billups. And why the Rams are all right on Wednesday. This is part one of my sound off. My brother, Coach Billups. Pep man, can you please bring my brother in? I want to share my sound off with my brother.
Give me 1 second.
No problem. We got all night. My brother, how you doing tonight, man? How you doing tonight, my brother?
First of all, I'm doing great. But I knew when you came on the show and you showing that forehead and your headline today, it was gonna be some action today. So I'm nervous. Anytime, man, who don't bring the headline, the big forehead out, he has to get some action.
Never.
So I don't be quiet. I don't mute it. I don't let you go ahead and get it. Go ahead and get it.
So my brother, he put out that tweet. And it started playing in my mind. Which direction do I want to go with this? Can I go here with it? Should I talk about the UNC part? Should I talk about the Rams are all right part? What should I start with? And you know what I said? I can take a push broom approach to this one and gather it all into one push. My brother, you know I love you. You know, I ain't got nothing but love. For those who don't know my background, my brother, Coach Billups, when I took the head coaching job at Christ the King, the first person who I called to become my defensive coordinator was this young man here, who's a Miami football aficionado. Super fan. Look at him, flagging it back, waving it beautifully. And so I said, because I have history with this brother, and I love this brother, that I was just going to talk about two parts of that tweet. The first part I was going to talk about is UNC is who I thought they were. Now, I'm pretty sure at some point in this today, you was going to say something about that and the show today. But at what point, my brother, were you going to tell me how you felt about UNC? That's point number one. Point number two is last week on this show, everybody during the NFL picks chose your mighty Rams. And not only was they let down, but everybody on the show was confidently let down. Because your mighty Rams let us all down, brother. Now, I love you. But those two parts, I need answers to.
I'll give you my answer on my sound up. We only got 2 minutes.
There we go.
That's the Sandman approach tonight.
Yes, sir. My second one, and Coach Billups, I'm glad you're on for this one too. I grew up watching boxing. I grew up a boxing fan. I happened to come up during the time period when Iron Mike Tyson was running the game. He went out and earned his respect, beat the guys, knocked them out, loved it. As we got older, but during that time period, my favorite boxer was Pernell Whitaker, Sweet Pea.
Yep.
As we got older, Oscar De La Hoya, Felix Trinidad, Sugar Shane Mosley. These guys started coming into the sport and they started taking it over. And they went out and earned their respect and got the things that they needed. But there was a young man that was coming up around that time who just came from good stock. Came from good stock, didn't he, Coach Billups?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Go on, tell him about it.
Uncle was a world champion.
Oh, yeah.
Father had a chance to fight one of the greatest fighters of all time, Sugar Ray Leonard.
Oh, yeah.
And we had a chance to see him early become a champion. At that time, he was the youngest champion in history at that weight class.
Just a pretty boy. Just a pretty boy.
And we just started calling him Pretty Boy.
Just...
And he went out and he earned this respect. But this past weekend, me and my brother had a chance to watch a fight this weekend, and we were tweeting back and forth during the fight. And there was a young man in the card that was unequivocally for the last few years, he has been painted as the Ukrainian Floyd Mayweather. Partly by his promoter, partly by ESPN, and partly by these fly-by-night fans who like boxing only when it's convenient. And we saw that young man get beat on this weekend by a man by the name of Teofimo Lopez. So my
dog walked on him.
Dog.
Walked it.
So my second sound off, and I'm sorry for going over in time, Pep, man. You gotta forgive me, man. Charge to my head, not my heart. But we saw Lomachenko lose this weekend. And it is now time. He's gonna be Lomachenko's gonna be a Hall of Famer for what he has done in the sport. But it's time for us to put my brother Floyd, Pretty Boy, a.k.a. Money Mayweather, where he needs to be. And that is TBE, the best ever. And I'm done. That's my sound off for the week, baby.
18 minutes later, we will move on to the next person. Thank you, Juice. That was very eloquent right there. That was very eloquent. So we're gonna go to the Queen of CFI, Cherie Glenn, and we're gonna let her sound off and follow that incredible soliloquy that was right there. So, all right, Cherie, what you got? Unmute yourself.
I won't take up much time.
Right.
My sound off is actually fairly short. So I actually wanted to sound off two ladies who I both know and have met this week. One is my best friend. I've known her for a long time, and she absolutely hates football. But the reason why I'm sounding off to her tonight is because she supports me and has always supported me no matter what I've done. And so I just wanted to take the time out, to shout her out for that. Also, and you see her right there, Mae Carter, that's her. Also, on the other end of that, there was another lady that I met on Monday. And some of you, if you follow me on Twitter, you saw my post where a lady came into the bar and she actually tipped me a nice amount of change on an $11 tab. She was a 49ers fan. She's a diehard 49ers fan. And we shared that love. And I think, it was just cool to, be able to have a genuine conversation with someone, a female at that, about football, who is about as passionate about it as I was. And so, I just wanted to shout both of those ladies out. Annie, I love you. I love you. That'll never change regardless of how much you hate football. We'll just call her Mrs. Jones. Hopefully I'll get to watch some football with you one day. Just two amazing women I just wanted to shout out.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. It's always good to have, that real support for something that you're passionate about. And, I'm your friend on Facebook, and I always see them, your friends supporting you and everything. And that's lovely, man. That's lovely to come on here and, show some love to you. That's what it's all about. That's what life's all about, man. Yeah, absolutely. Great. That was great. All right. He's had a week off. He's had a lot of energy built up. I've seen a lot of good opinions on his Facebook now. So we're going to see if Kenny brings the juice tonight. Ken, you ain't got no pressure, but here you go.
You know what? I'm gonna be quick tonight. Juice, I'm gonna give a shout out to local talent, man, in one school that, if I'm being honest, it pains me to give a shout out to, but that's to I gotta say it, I've been saying their name wrong for over 20 years, so I'm gonna be really slow and say it. Northwest Cabarrus. Shout out to you guys, man. You guys have a heck of a group of young men playing professional sports. Right now, Corey Seager, who is one of them, plays for the LA Dodgers, broke a lot of Braves fans' hearts over the weekend. But Corey Seager, a Northwest boy, plays for the Dodgers, getting ready to play in the World Series this week. I think it starts tonight. National League MVP for the League Series championship. Then into the other night, he had 5 home runs, 11 RBIs. Man, he's killing it. He's got a couple brothers that play professional sports. Of course, Bradley Pinion, who was a punter, also went to Northwest. All those guys I was able to see during my time in the county. But shout out to Northwest and especially to Corey Seager, man. Bring it home.
Yeah, as much as it pained me as a Braves fan to see him destroy us in 7 games, you do have to shout him out, and that's real respect. Local kids doing something special like that. That is awesome. That's good shout out, Ken. All right, next we got Joe Hughes, who's been adopted into the Football Focus Weekly family, and we're gonna see what he has to say this week on Sound Off. So here we go.
I'm gonna sound off on myself. All my teams stink. You got the Cowboys, self-explanatory. The Braves let me down. Even my soccer team stinks now. I'm not one of these bandwagon guys, so I guess I got to deal with it. So I'm just going to have to embrace the suck, as one of my old coaches said. It still stinks. But what should you do? Bandwagon or stick with it? I don't know. All I can say is this my sports life is in shambles. It stinks. It sucks.
That took my thunder. I was gonna go that same way. But I hear you, man. I feel the pain. It's tough, man. It's tough because as hard as it is already out here, we got COVID-19 going on. We got this election going on. I almost said something else. We got all these things going on in our lives, and then we count on our sports to be something positive, and then when all your teams suck one weekend, it's the worst. Absolutely the worst. All right. Good stuff, Joe. You sound like one of us now. You're officially adopted in the family, man. That's awesome. All right, so we're gonna bring on the mighty Coach Billups, who has made a costume change. We're gonna see what he has to say right now.
Been so much disrespect for the mighty Coach Billups, and I'm here to sign off about it. Number one, my illustrious university in Coral Gables went and played the cheat code Clemson. Let me tell y'all something. Clemson University is the most disrespectful football team I have ever seen in my life. Poor Georgia Tech. Dabo Swinney, I thought he was a man of faith. But for him to pull that quarterback after he threw for 404 yards and then instruct somebody on the Clemson media program team to post on Twitter the picture of 404 from the Georgia Tech sideline on their Twitter feed, talking about how many yards Trevor Lawrence threw for. Hurt my heart. A good friend of mine who works in Georgia in Atlanta told me that the mayor called Georgia Tech head coach and asked them politely to remove the 404 from their hat before they crossed the Georgia state line again. So, it was just, they're bullies. And I pray Trevor Lawrence goes to the Jets. Y'all tell me he's the greatest quarterback to ever play the game. I just want to see what he do with Adam Gase. I'm praying for that. So I'm really rooting for Trevor. Go Trevor. Let's go to the Jets. Let's go J-E-T, Jets. Number 2. Guys, I apologize for Sunday night. Apparently, Jared Goff and his girlfriend was going through some things, a little spat. Couples have spats. And he just didn't want to throw the ball to the right people. And Cooper Kupp, I think him and his he's expecting a newborn. They got babies in the house. He has some milk or one of her toys. He took the wrong glove, so that's why he was dropping passes. We play the worst brand of football we have played all year, and now y'all telling me the team is terrible. The 49ers barely beat us. Shout out to them. Shout out to my boy Kyle Zoom. He came at me. Said we suck. That's what I expect 49er fans to do. You gotta say we suck. You don't like us. I don't like y'all. But I think I'm a decent human. Number 3. It's just so hard being me. Like when I come on here, I try to promote love and encouragement. And then my Twitter feed just go off. Boom, boom. Mcclamrock coming at me. Sharif coming at me. Crowell and his hairline and that forehead, Moorhead coming at me. Y'all remember Wayne Head? That's who I thought I was talking to, not Crowell. I thought I was talking to Wayne Head. Now I'm tired of disrespect. And I got time today. That's my sound off.
See, I told y'all, man. I knew when Twitter was going crazy. And I had 37 notifications when I looked at it on Saturday night. I said, oh, hell, this is going to be a mess. But I do got to say this. Man, I'm going to bring you back on. So you had your Rams.
Hold up.
Screwed up. Your Rams messed us up so bad, not only in the NFL picks, because everyone got that one wrong, but I got Coach Grice from Hopewell tagging me, mad at me because I chose the 49ers. I said, now hold on. I wasn't the only one. Why am I the only one getting tagged? We should have tagged the whole panel.
Well,
that wasn't right, man.
I can't speak.
But shout out to you. They got it done. But I felt a little attacked.
I apologize. That's how 49er fans do. They're thugs. They're thugs. They're thugs. Us nice people in LA, we just try, it was just a friendly game. And we felt bad for them because of Dolphins. Oh my God. Prayers up to my boy Fritz Magic, man. That is the worst thing I ever seen in my life. I'm heartbroken.
Oh yeah.
The God, they put the God on the bench for this Tuamala dude. I don't know.
I don't understand that. I really don't understand.
But
that. But
it's all right. But I apologize.
We'll get to that in a minute.
Hey, congratulations, Niner fans. Niner fans, don't attack Pep. I am the Ram. I am the Ram.
Thank you.
The Ram of God.
I'm the Ram. Attack him.
The Ram. That's why I like the Rams, because the Ram of God. God is the Ram. He's the.
All right, thank you, Coach. I don't know where that was going, but we're gonna just let that off right there. All right. So I was gonna talk about my horrible sports weekend. Joe did a great job talking about his teams, doing terrible. My teams did terrible. Of course, Atlanta Braves lost Game 7, 4-3. I was watching a little bit of it. We were up 3-2, and then what's his name hit that home run. I said, "Oh hell, I'm turning it off. I can't take stress. I'm a big dude, and my blood pressure's good, but I just can't take stress." So I turned it off, and of course we lost. So I'm glad I turned it off. Tar Heels, sitting there watching. Of course, Tar Heels going down 7-0, 10-0. 13-0. I wasn't home at the time, but I was kind of sneaking little peeks like, what is going on? And then of course, I got on Twitter, and then here you go. Billups on Twitter. Oh, if the Tar Heels lose. Oh, if the Tar Heels lose. I'm like, I got this for him. I got that for him. I'm like, oh, man. And then the second half, They made a comeback and just couldn't get there, man. So that was the second strike. And then the third strike. I'm the only one that believed in the home team, Carolina Panthers. They get close. And then what happens? The one that everyone said that was all right. We don't miss Cam. We love Teddy Bridgewater. He's leading the league in NFL completion percentage and all this stuff. And what does he do? We got, a minute and 50 seconds to drive down and tie the game or possibly even win the game if we go for two. First play on the drive. He throws an intercept. The first play. You don't even get – I'm sitting up. I'm getting excited. And then it's just like the balloon deflate. Like, what in the world, man? But that's not even my real sound off. So my real sound off tonight is about my dang on wing rankings, chicken wing rankings. I've been doing 4 rankings of different things. Now I'm doing 5 wing restaurants. But we're going to come back to that in just a minute because we're going to go to what's next here. We're going to go to Juice Man's college football update. We're going to get that on here right now, Juice. All right, let's see what you got.
Hey, Billups, I ain't going to take too much more disrespect by my darn hairline, but my hairline is straight. It's just when you look up like this, you can see my darn head. You can see my forehead. I just got a big forehead. It is what it is. But my hairline is straight. I'm crispy. I ain't going to take too much more disrespect because I'm going to start going on the fro, if you know. All right, but Juice Man, college football update this week. Goes without saying, obviously, as you guys know, at this point, I pretty much handle it the same way every week. So let's go ahead and jump into my top 5. All right, let's go ahead and jump into my top 5. Number 1, goes without saying, Clemson Tigers, 73-7. It was ugly. All right, my brother Billups gave it justice. I mean, just disrespectful. Just disrespectful. But more than that, they legitimately have 2 Heisman candidates who pretty much seem like they battling with each other for who's going to end up winning the Heisman. With Travis Etienne, running back at Clemson, who I think is the most dynamic football player in the country right now. And Mr. Sunshine, as my brother literally coined him last week, Mr. Sunshine, Trevor Lawrence. So at number 1 is Clemson. At number 2, I have finally put Bama back at number 2. I have finally put Bama back at number 2. Nick Saban, like the phoenix that rose from the ashes, huh? 3 negative COVID tests in a row. My brother walked in. He walked in, shrugged his shoulders. I'm back, baby. They found a way to knock off Georgia. High-scoring game for the SEC. What's going on with the SEC? Looking a little bit like the Big 12. Number 3, I got Notre Dame. Notre Dame. Look good. They look good. We're going to see in a couple weeks when they got to get ready to play Clemson. Number 4, Oklahoma State. Last week I had them tied with Carolina. Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State looking good, controlling the Big 12. And at number 5, it's getting ready to get crazy on Saturday. Because who I think is the sleeper pick and who the Panthers need to be getting ready to go get, that bad man walked back on the field on Saturday. At number 5, because I know they playing this week, I got Ohio State. Ohio State at number 5. Only reason why I got them at 5 is because they haven't played a game yet. Mills, I see what you're saying, brother. I understand. I would have them at number 3. But because we just need to see what's going to happen on Saturday, I want to give them some credence. They come out smoking on Saturday like I think they are, I'm going to jump them to number 2 because I ain't really that big of a fan of Bama, and I don't think Bama can beat either Ohio State or Clemson if both of them look good. And that's real talk. So, on to my Heisman picks, my top 4. At number 1, Trevor Lawrence. Ooh, just disrespectful. I mean, just disrespectful. Trevor Lawrence at 1. Number 2, Travis Etienne. Travis Etienne, he's earned it. He's earned it. At number 3, the gentleman that I've told you guys every single week, he will not come out of my Heisman watch until he proves to me otherwise he doesn't deserve to be there because we're going to get a chance to see him on Saturday. Justin Fields, quarterback, Ohio State. Carolina, that's who you need to. Let's move on. And at number 4, with the bounce back this weekend, he dealing with an issue at his school. They having to deal with COVID, and it's not looking good for him. But I still think that he's an excellent quarterback and in a great situation, especially with Georgia losing this past weekend. So at number 4, quarterback from Florida, Kyle Trask. I know that's going to cause a lot of stir because I know it's some people who saying otherwise. I know it's some people who saying, no, Juice, man, he shouldn't be at number 4. That shouldn't be the guy. But that's the guy for me at number 4. Games of the week. Number 23, NC State. Number 14, North Carolina. Goes without saying. NC State looking good. Looking good at 4-1. Carolina, a little bad situation from last week. Crazy. Next game of the week. Number 17, Iowa State. Number 6, Oklahoma State. First time Oklahoma State's getting a chance to have a test. Will that running game have some issues? Can that defense hold up? It has been playing really good. I want to see, can Oklahoma State finally beat somebody that's reputable? Third game of the week. Michigan, Minnesota. What is Michigan going to be? We're going to find out this weekend. And my last game of the week, the actual game of the week. I'm looking forward to seeing this game, and I hope that people who love college football will look at this game because this team is rolling. This team is quietly rolling. Former offensive coordinator at Ohio State is the head coach there. They are rolling, and I can't wait to see this game. Cincinnati taking on SMU. SMU's quarterback, I had him on my players to watch last week. SMU's quarterback leading the country right now in passing yards. Defense is terrible, but we're going to see how they hold up against Cincinnati this weekend. That is my game of the week. I can't wait to see that game. It's going to be a high-scoring game. A lot of points going to be scored. And we're going to see who's going to come out with the W. And then last but not least, I got to mention Ohio State will be playing on Saturday. And I can't wait to see Justin Fields. I was hoping and praying that the Carolina Panthers was going to be so bad that I was going to get a chance to see this young brother with the number 1 jersey right here in Charlotte, North Carolina, so that then I could be able to be happy about being a Carolina Panthers fan on the low ski. That's it, man. Juice Man's college football update. Justin Fields. Show me the love, baby.
Juice, thank you for that. I know we put a schedule out. We were a little off schedule, had to call audible, had to handle, some things going on, at Petman Residence. So thank you, Juice, for stepping in and, filling us with the college football updates, getting better and better every week. I mean, it's really information. I mean, I think it's better than some of the ESPN stuff out there because I think they just repeat the same stuff over and over and over again. So I agree. I'm looking – absolutely, man. I agree. I'm looking forward to seeing Justin Fields too. I think he's going to be the number 2 pick for whoever gets behind the Jets because it's obvious the Jets are the worst franchise in NFL by far. I mean, what a dumpster fire.
And just as the last point, Pep, I do think that the Big Ten put Nebraska on first against Ohio State on purpose. We remember what happened a few months ago.
Oh, yeah.
Nebraska and that whole, we think about leaving the Big Ten. So I think the Big Ten and the commissioner of the Big Ten, they kept that in mind. And they put them on. You got to play the best team, arguably one of the best teams in the country first. And we're going to put that schedule. And Nebraska's schedule is very tough, man. They first 4 games, they could lose every single one of their first 4 games. So I'm looking to see Justin Fields make a good step forward on Saturday, man. I think he's going to have a big game, and don't blink, because that game could get 42-0 in a heartbeat. Nebraska doesn't have a really good defense. Oh, yeah. They're replacing a lot of guys up front in that front 7. So I expect Ohio State to win big. And it's going to be ugly real fast, so don't blink.
I agree. I mean, Justin Fields was really lobbying to play, so I know he'll be jacked up to go out and put on the show. And he'll probably try to, prove that he's the number 1 pick. But once again, who wants to go to New York, though? So anyway, all right. That's a whole nother subject. All right, so now actually we're gonna bring everybody in because we got to do the loser of the week. And oh boy. This one is gonna be pretty funny. So I'm gonna bring everybody in.
Man, I would have was me. Like
I'm mad I didn't get to do my segment because I had something for you Carolina fans.
Yeah, it's coming. It's coming. We're a little out of order, so we gonna come back to the segment. Yeah, we ain't.
Let me see who the loser of the week was. Hold on.
All right. So first off, here we go. Cherie, have some confidence.
No, I have none. I saw the games. I know what I can do.
All right.
I got
everyone goes
and the
3
one I got
and 2.
right was the Panthers.
Oh Lord,
man, Billups, man.
Oh Lord, that's a 5.
Everyone goes 3 and 2 except for the Queen.
Yeah,
who went 1 and 4. And as she said, the one she got right was when she picked against the home team.
Yes,
that's crazy.
I can't believe that. All the teams that I picked were supposed to win. They all let me down. And here,
that's the ideal plan. Yeah, that's the point.
Go ahead and play the video. I deserve it.
I did have time for a video, so without further ado, here we go.
The Steelers. I'm actually gonna go Cleveland on this one.
Stop it out.
Let's see. Rams, 49ers. I think I'm actually gonna go Rams on this one. The 49ers look like a dumpster fire last week. If that's any indication of what the rest of their season is gonna look like, I'm gonna have to go with any team that plays them.
Stop it out.
Cardinals at the Cowboys. I'm actually gonna go Cowboys on this one. I think that Andy Dalton's got something to prove. I know Dak's out, so this is going to be a game for them to kind of like boost their morale. So I'm going to give this one to Dallas.
Stop it out.
And then the last one, let's see, we got Packers at Bucks. I think I'm actually going to go Green Bay on this one.
Stop it out.
But here's the thing. Should I not have been confident in the picks that I made? Let's be for real. Like, seriously. We were talking about some teams that I had the most confidence in them winning this week. So I'm not even ashamed of my picks. I will take my loss. I'll come back stronger this week. I'm not even worried about it. Let's get these NFL picks off. How about that?
You never pick against Tampa Bay.
Man, I don't want to hear what you got to say, man. Your freaking Rams messed everybody up.
Exactly. So you was one of the losses I had, man. So get up out of here. Anyway.
You picked the Cowboys.
And
that tells you a lot about your peoples.
No, it don't.
Jack.
Sometimes you got to.
And Wayne Head, get it back to your forehead. I know my fro don't look moisturized, but it is. Because I'm embracing my image with black mamba. That's why I got the mamba. It's the mamba mentality, fro. It's the mumble mentality, fro.
It's the backward mentality, fro.
I know.
Anyway, Rams,
anyway.
Well, Joe back there crying. My fault. It's the mamba mentality. I ain't put my soul glow in. It's not glowing right now. It's dry, but it'll be all right. I just got off work.
I'm gonna try to resume control here. Cherie,
working 9 to 5 like Dolly Parton say.
Cherie, mute Coach Phillips on there. Cherie, let's try to redeem yourself this week.
Okay, fine.
You got first shot.
I'm okay. All right. So my first pick, I'm gonna go Rams Bears. We're gonna go Rams on this one. I think that they're going to have the edge this week. We're talking 49ers at Patriots. I actually think who did I pick this week? I picked New England to win this game. I feel like Cam has something that he's got to prove this week, and I just feel like he's going to have the edge. Am I doing that right? Steelers at Titans. I'm going to go actually Tennessee on this one. I like this game, and I think that Tennessee is actually on a roll. So I'm going to go with them on this one. Let's see. We got Lions at Falcons. I think I picked. Who did I pick for this one? I want to say I picked Atlanta for this one. I feel like they got a little roll going on. I know it's probably only going to be a 2-game roll, but I feel like they got something going on. So we'll see what they do with that. And then Seahawks and Cardinals, I got the Seahawks for this one. I just believe in what Russell Wilson is doing over there in Seattle, and I just don't think that the other team has enough to come back. So I feel like they're going to win that one.
All right, we'll see if that goes better for you. There might be more whammies in your future, though, with those picks.
Amen.
All right, let's go to let's see. Let's go to Kenny. Let's go to Kenny and let's get his picks on these games right here.
Yo, Pep, I'm feeling pretty good about these picks. I think I got a 5-0 record coming this week, so just get ready. We need a new video for guys who go undefeated each week. Rams versus Bears. You know what, Coach Billits, man? Because you my dog, I'm going Rams this week. Rams over the Bears. I think it's going to be a 7-point game. Second game, we got 49ers versus the Patriots. I think that the 49ers roll in this one. I don't even think it's going to be close. I think the 49ers are going to take their strides this week. It's going to be good. The next game, the battle of the undefeateds. As much as I hate the Dallas Cowboys, I hate the Pittsburgh Steelers fans equally as much because all they do is talk. Oh, I'm from Pittsburgh. I'm so hard. Shut up. You're going down. Go Titans. Titans are going to beat the Steelers this week. Lions versus Falcons. Lions, let's get it done over the Falcons. And then lastly, Seahawks versus the Cardinals. Man, anytime I have an opportunity to pick my dude Cliff, to pick Kyler Murray, I'm going with the Cardinals. I've got the Cardinals over the Seahawks. They pick up their first loss, and the Cardinals roll this week.
I like it, Ken. I like it a lot. I think mine are pretty similar to that. All right, let's go to Joe Hughes and let's get his picks for this week.
All right, let's hope the Rams don't screw me over this week. So I'm going to go with the Rams because I still don't trust Nick Foles and what the Chicago Bears are selling. That defense is awesome, but I still don't believe you can throw for 200 yards per game and just get away with it. So I'm going with the Rams. They're a little bit more of a complete team. Going with the 49ers over the Patriots. Cam and them, you can't really trust a team that has practiced basically 2 days over the past month. COVID has basically racked that team up, and it's become hard to really figure out what that team really is. And I think the 49ers got healthy a little bit last week against the Rams, so I'm going to go with the 49ers. I like the Titans, but I'm actually going with the Steelers in this game for the same reason I'm going with the Rams in a previous game. I think they're more of a balanced team. They have a better defense, although Derrick Henry's just run a rough shot over people, and he had another 90-yard touchdown run last week. So I'm going with the Steelers, and I'm breaking another rule and actually saying I'm hoping an Atlanta team wins, but I'm picking the Falcons over the Lions just because I don't trust them more than I trust the Lions. I just don't. And Seattle, they got that bad man Russell Wilson, who just is Houdini in the pocket against the guy who just can flat out run. I just know that Kyler Murray is going to need to complete more than 9 passes this week to beat the Seahawks, and I don't think that they're going to do it. So I have Seahawks in that one.
Good stuff. Good stuff. I like a lot of those. All right, let's go to Juice Man. Let's get his picks right quick.
Yeah, man, this week is a good one. I'm actually not convinced that the Bears, man, the way that they ended up winning that game against the Panthers, man, I'm not really convinced that they are a really good team. But because the Rams let me down last week, man, I'm going with the Bears. 49ers at Patriots. Listen, man, let's not get too far ahead of ourselves now. This is still Cam Newton It doesn't take much. Obviously, we saw him start pulling together in the second half, really in the fourth quarter last week. So let's see if he can be able to roll it over. And then the 49ers team is abysmal, even though they ended up beating the Rams. So I'm going to go with the Patriots and the Patriots versus 49ers. Steelers and the Lions, man. Steelers and the Titans. Derrick Henry, man, that says it goes without saying, but as Joe mentioned, man, I think that the Steelers are a little bit more balanced. So I think that Tennessee ends up losing this game, man, because Pittsburgh is a little more balanced. Lions at the Falcons. Man, shout out to Raheem Morris, man. We read the reports that came out this week. Arthur Blank basically said that Raheem Morris has pretty much got to go 11-0 in order for him to get that job. And that's unfortunate to even hear that in Atlanta, which is such a black metropolis, man. I hope that Coach Morris can be able to make a great enough case for him to be able to keep that job. So I'm going to hope that he can keep rolling, and I'm going to go with the Falcons in that game against the Lions. Seahawks versus Cardinals. Russell Wilson, man. Right now he's probably the MVP, and he's definitely the front runner with, Aaron Rodgers and them losing to the Bucs last week. So I'm really going to go with Seattle. I think that defense is solid. I think that the offense, Joe said it, Russell Wilson is Houdini in the pocket. But I think also that receiving core and that running game is starting to be able to help to complement the greatness that is Russell Wilson, man. So I got the Seahawks winning that game. I actually think it's going to be a pretty high-scoring game. I think Cliff Kingsbury and Kyler Murray and that receiving core is going to figure it out this week. It is going to take more than 9 receptions, which I think they will do. But I think at the end of the game, Seahawks defense end up closing it out. So I got the Seahawks winning that game.
Good stuff. Good stuff. I like explanation, man. Good picks right there. Good job. All right, Billups.
I got to unmute myself because I get mute all the time on this show.
I wonder why.
Because I enjoy life. Of course. I heard the little cute chat. This is my Niners and they beat them. Shut up, jerk. Rams over the Bears. Of course, we don't get it. We don't GATA, and we don't come ready to play. The next game, y'all actually think the 49ers gonna beat the Patriots? They can't stop the run. We didn't want to run the ball. That's why they beat us. Patriots over Niners. Lions versus Falcons. The Lions are worse than the darn Falcons. So, hey, go Falcons. Let's go. And I ain't shocked that they doing Raheem Morris like that because that's what Atlanta does. But, hey, that's a whole nother conversation. Pittsburgh versus Tennessee Titans. This is for my co-worker, Louis Maycount. Y'all keep on crowning this dude, Russell Wilson, as the darn MVP. But Ryan Tannehill is currently leading the MVP rank in my book. 300 yards. First teammate to ever throw for 300 yards and rush for 250. Woo! I got the Tennessee Titans who don't need to practice, don't need to do nothing, don't need to take their COVID test. They'll go out there, COVID and all, will play against everybody over the Steelers. Well, the game I missed one. Hold up now. My eyes. Oh, Seahawks over Cardinals. Y'all, I dislike air raid guys. No offense. I really dislike, but I like Cliff. I think Cliff is I think everybody is in their interpretation of this Seattle Seahawks team is incorrect. I think Russell Wilson is what we like to say. He got that team on his back. It's the Seattle Russells because that's the only person who come to play. That defense is non-existent. They should not got rid of Clowning because that pass rush is terrible right now. And Jamal Adams is not there. So I think Kyler is going to have you're playing against two teams that really don't have a good defense. Like, what Van Joseph is still trying to figure out what to do with Isaiah Simmons. You might want to call Brent Venables and say, what did you do at Clemson? Because I don't know what I'm doing. And I think Cardinal fans are getting tired of Van Joseph. But, hey, this is Van Joseph. That's what happened when you hire him. And I ain't saying that because he came from the Broncos. But, hey, his track record is but I think the Cardinals are going to figure it out and beat Seattle.
All right, very good, man. Let's catch you back on your segment here coming up shortly. All right, so in the interest of time, because we're running way off schedule, my picks simply Rams over the Bears, 49ers over the Patriots, Steelers over the Titans, Lions over the Falcons, and I'm taking the Cardinals over the Seahawks. So if I'm loser of the week, I ain't got enough time to make a video. So there we go. That's the trick right there. Get in and get out. You good. All right. So moving on, we're going to go to the rundown. And in the rundown, we're going to start off with our South Carolina football update with our resident South Carolina. Oh, there's a fumble. We covered the fumble. My bad. There we go. Go back to our resident South Carolina football expert, Joe Hughes. We're going to bring him on. And I'm going to get that off the screen right there. There we go. All right. So, first thing going on in South Carolina, COVID. My goodness, COVID is running rampant, and it is tearing up the whole state, the upper state, the lower state, all over the place. We got games being canceled, trying to reschedule games just getting postponed all over the place. I mean, what can you say about everything that's going on right now? I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah. You expected it, just didn't expect it to just come, a tidal wave as it has this past couple weeks. And then when it gets as close as it did, shoot, I was talking to my wife earlier. I said, man, one false decision, I'm standing on the Gaffney sideline last week. And
oh, wow.
So fortunately, I was actually on the Clover side, so I was covering the game over there. And word comes out maybe a day or two later, hey, Gaffney is taking the next 2 weeks off. They basically canceled their games, and they might not even play the November 6th game against Fort Mill because it matters none. So right. Who knows where that's going with that, but it's not a good situation at all. And especially once these playoffs are coming around, you're going to start seeing teams that are just going to say, hey, we're just not going to play any of these extra games. I think in North Myrtle Beach scrapped its non-region game with St. James because they have COVID issues. And that's a whole nother story with their COVID issues. They had a JV player that reported positive. They still played the game.
That's insane. That's insane.
Yeah, so I
mean, how can you do something like that?
Yeah, it looks like a total negligent issue. And that's kind of the risk and the danger of all of this. And you want to trust everybody and think everybody has a good heart and that winning isn't everything, but to some, winning is everything. And it's a terrible thing to put out there for the kids. It's a terrible thing to put out there for the adults. Everybody in these communities, everybody mingles together. Everybody comes together at these football games, whether it be a church, football games, at the Sonic, who knows? And when you start doing with one, you're basically setting a fire ablaze elsewhere too. And that's the problem that in South Carolina now, and something that will have to be looked at in coming months in North Carolina as well.
Absolutely. And the biggest thing is, the contact tracing part of this. So you mentioned Gaffney, having to sit out, but now Clover is now sitting out for 2 weeks for their varsity program. Their JV and ninth grade are still playing. Yep. But then it just goes down the line, and it's just like a domino effect. I mean, it's insane, man. And I hate it for these kids because, especially the seniors, because it's just destroying their senior year. But we did have some football played last week, and we had a big game in Rock Hill where Northwestern defeated South Point, which, really, sent some shockwaves across the upstate there. What are your thoughts on seeing that?
I'm not necessarily surprised. I'm probably more surprised at the low score, but that Northwestern defense came to play, and they set the tone from the beginning. And first time they've beaten them since 2013, held them to 3 points. I'm thoroughly impressed, and really think that they're in line for a home playoff game and possibly to play for a while, depending on how things kind of shake out and how the draw kind of turns out. But they're looking good.
Absolutely. And, they're playing a traditional rival this week in Rock Hill. Me and Brain are actually going to be at that game at District 3 Stadium. I hadn't been there in several years. Last time I went there, we got in trouble because we switched sidelines. And I'm like, what's the big deal? And they were like, no, you're assigned to this sideline and you have to stay. I'm like, my goodness, what is going on around here? But anyway, we'll stay on our one sideline. I didn't know it was that serious down there. But, for Northwestern, you mentioned the defense playing really well, but the offense still is not, putting up a ton of points. So, is this a situation where it's kind of like a trap game for them, where they, a Rock Hill team that's played teams tough, but they're 0-3? Can they rise up and pull an upset here?
Northwestern Rock Hill will never be a trap game. Never, ever.
Okay.
Those two teams, the players have respect, but they still don't like each other. So it's two different sides of the tracks. But especially with the fact that Rock Hill won the region last year, and Northwestern wants their spot back. And for Northwestern riding high right now against South Point, and now they come in against a Rock Hill team that lost in double overtime last week to Ridgeview, 47-44.
Yeah,
it's these type of games you can't predict, but it's one that you're going to see the most passion come out of Football City, USA. This is the original rivalry.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm excited to see it, and hopefully it'll be a great game, and we'll have some good stuff to talk about next week. Just real quick for the last question here, who are the top teams in the state of South Carolina in your opinion right now?
Number one is Dutch Fork, without a doubt. They just continue to be consistent. I like Gaffney. They have the talent. The question is, will all of it show up at one time? Kobe Pacehour was outstanding. We've known that for a while covering North Carolina, but seeing him in South Carolina and continuing to flourish, he had 9 grabs for 106 last week and a touchdown. So he's brought a lot of great things to that offense. And the problem with that is they can be even better once quarterback Andre Lindsey doesn't feel like he has to force balls to Kobe. You have a quality receiver on the other side, Natron. I can't remember his last name. I think it's Natron Johnson. He's always open all day. And once they figure that out, they're going to be unstoppable themselves. Dorman is still great. Fort Dorchester is probably the team that's lying in the weeds a little bit in 5A down there on the coast. But in 4A, South Point's going to play a factor. AC Flora, just outside of Columbia, is going to play a factor. Myrtle Beach is still the top dog though. Hartsville gave them some fits last week, but the tandem of Adam Randall and J.J. Jones going to North Carolina, they're 2 grown men that can high point with the best of them, and they're tough to beat.
Good stuff. That's great insight, man. Thanks for the wisdom. I'm starting to learn a lot about South Carolina football. I'm excited about it because, you're starting to see where these teams, are lining up for the playoffs. And, one other thing I want to mention, I was reading a little bit about, South Carolina rules for the playoffs. And if a team gets COVID in the playoffs, it's an automatic suspension or disqualification or whatever.
Forfeit, yeah.
So their season so their season ends right there. So, you mentioned the JV team that played knowing that they had a COVID case, but JV's one thing. That's really dumb. But I hope we don't see a playoff run disrupted by this. And then I hope we don't see a team that has a COVID case say, you know what, it's the playoffs. We're gonna play anyway because we don't want our season to end. And I hope that's not the case. I really do.
And that's the biggest worry that I have about any of it. And I've said before about Dutch Fork and how they're going for 5. They're going for a state record. I think their biggest competition out of all of this is COVID. COVID is their biggest nemesis.
Wow.
It's in part because they're the best. They're hands down. They're going to win. If you ask 10 people, who's going to win Lower State South Carolina? At least 8 to 9, if not all, are going to say Dutch Fork. In the upstate, you have probably 5 or 6 teams that are good enough to win it themselves. Dutch Fork, on the other hand, is just far and away better than everybody else in their part of the state. So they're basically penciled into the state final. They can beat whoever meets them in the state final. But if COVID basically messes that up, there's nothing they can do about it. They can't even plead their case.
I really hope that doesn't happen. But anyway, Joe, thanks for the insight as always, man. And you've been doing a great job being a part of us. And I swear I'm gonna change the open next week. I promise. We have a new theme song with picture and everything. So appreciate it, man. Thanks for coming on once again.
No problem.
All right, so that was South Carolina football update with very own Joe Hughes doing a great job with his knowledge of South Carolina. I'm going to switch gears a little bit, and I'm going to stay solo on this for now, and I want to talk about CMS football. Of course, CMS football started practice on the 12th of October. Been seeing some great observations. Shout out to the programs putting out videos of the workouts. I mean, that's awesome. A lot of us, can't get out, with the COVID concerns, and we can't, do our visits like we normally do in a lot of places. So, programs are sharing how they're working out. I saw some video from Vance. I saw some video from Olympic. Players, socially distanced outside, doing conditioning, they're lifting weights. Everyone's doing the things in the proper procedure. That's an awesome job, man. And I appreciate you guys putting it out there. I wish all programs would do that, but of course, some are stronger on social media than others. So, but hopefully I'll be able to get out to a couple of CMS schools here while this practice time is allowed, and catch up with them and get some, players in action and see how, the schools are doing different things. The biggest thing, hearing feedback from a couple of CMS coaches, they wish they had more time. Obviously, that's always a big thing, especially in this situation. You got some schools that, are in different, type of situations than others, socio and economic wise. And, we talked about it for a long time when we were not practicing, the importance of, having structure and having football and something to look forward to. Now that we have it, you want more of it because, you see how bad the kids, have been wanting that. Now they get a taste of it, but then you release them back into, those environments that they were in. And, it's hard. It's hard, but, a little bit of something's better than nothing, of course. And then the other part of, what I want to talk about is some different things that have started to come out about player movement once again. I saw some stuff on social media that, was interesting. We've talked about the topic of player movement, and we've talked about the topic of different coaches recruiting players to their high schools. I just got a question, I want to pose to everyone that may watch this, and I'll cut it up and put it out there. Why is it so important for you to try and go out and recruit a player to your school? I just want to know, because at the end of the day, and we've had this discussion before, so I'm not saying anything brand new, but at the end of the day, the most important thing as coaches out here is shaping these young men's lives to be successful after they move on from high school. And sometimes, things that I see, things that I hear, I don't repeat them, but it's a little disheartening. It's a little disheartening because sometimes you just look at these kids as a means to an end. And the true purpose of getting a kid to your school is not necessarily what you sell them on. I mean, that, I know that, and there's others out here that know that. So really, and let's really just take a look at ourselves. What are we doing here? And let's be honest. I mean, if a kid's in a situation where he's having success and, he's getting playing time, he's being showcased, let's think twice about what we're doing, seriously. And you know, I want to stress this to kids also. You know, kids, I know you get a bunch of text messages all the time. You get DMs. You know, you get all those things. You know, through social media, or you know, you play on a 7-on-7 team or something like that, and you know, you get influence. You know, and if you don't like it, you need to talk to your head coach. You need to show them what's going on. And then it's not going to really change until head coaches decide to say something and show the evidence. It's not going to change. And even if you do show it, it may not even change it, but at least, you know, you've done the right thing. You know, at least you've done the right thing. And that's all I'm going to say about that, because I know it's a volatile subject and we don't have a ton of time to, you know, get into all of that, you know, tonight. But I just felt like I needed to say that. And hopefully the right people hear that message. And if you do, that's great. If you don't, and I know there's some that don't agree and they're just going to do whatever they want to do. But, you know, at the end of the day, you know, karma is evil. And, you know, that kind of stuff will catch up with you one way or another. So just keep all that in mind. All right. That's all I'm going to say on that. I ran out of time to do the private school preview. I only got like 30 seconds. So I will talk about private schools separately. We're going to go to our segments now, and we're going to pick back up. We did Juice Man's college football update earlier. We're going to go to Word on the Street with Coach Billups, who I know has a lot to say. So we're going to jump to him right now. It's the Word on the Street.
Yo, before I go to Word on the Street, I got this wonderful, wonderful song I would like to play for the Carolina Tar Heels. I found this thing. I was searching YouTube. I was like, man, I'm just going to play for you. It's hot off the press. Juice Man had the nerve to say UNC was going to beat my Miami Hurricane. I didn't hear that song when we played them. But got there, boy, I heard it so much when they played Tar Heels. Boy, I was like, is Deion Sanders out there? Hey, man. Hey, Word on the Street, man. This is my Word on the Street. I'm going to go into my Kenny Mcclamrock mindset. Guys, who do I need to talk to let y'all know that I already voted? Like, I showed the sticker on here. How did you get my number? Who did it? Which one of my enemies gave you my number? Because Lord Jesus, I don't have to tell Jill so many times, Jill, sweetheart, I voted. Stop texting me. I get a text every day. So I need to know who I need to talk to tell them leave me alone. With that being said, go vote. I know everybody says the cliche thing to say, hey, I don't really care who you vote for. Man, vote with your heart, man. Don't vote because, you know, I don't care if you vote for Trump. I don't think everybody who votes for Trump is a racist. I don't think that. I don't think bad about people. I know somebody who is voting for him, and he's a good guy. He just like what he does. And I said, oh, okay. But we can agree to disagree. We need to be like that more in this world. Like, that's the problem with a lot of people. That's why I legit stay to myself in this. You know, I'll call Pep every now and then, and my circle of friends is small because people will see you at your lowest moment and weaponize that against you. And they're not genuine. Like, and we can't have disagreements and they'll hold that against you like you're a bad person. And I just don't get it. Like, it's just crazy. Like I tell everybody, I just go to work, take care of my babies, and watch Paw Patrol, play with LOL, Cry Baby, watch my oldest daughter tell me this is spooky, and I just try to be a good father. That's all I care about. You know, I love coaching football. I love coming over here and just being a gift to the world and just, you know, make people laugh because y'all take this thing too seriously, man. And y'all get on these Twitter platforms and like Pep said, I know her story. Somebody called me today. They got text messages of people trying to recruit their players, and I was laughing. I was like, man, it ain't never that deep, man. I love West Sharp, but Sam, I never don't get nobody DMs and tell them come to Dub C. You know, it ain't that deep, you know. And I want to take a big special shout out to my guy, Frank Knox at Providence. He sent me a message on Instagram. Me and him been talking. He was one of my JV guys. He didn't play a lot. He played here and there. He was ninth grade. But, man, kids like you, it's not all about the superstars. It's about the kids who just want to come out there and fellowship and have fun and get to know people and just, you know, fill voids in life. And, man, that message you sent me, I'm getting choked up. A lot of people don't know what I went through the past couple of years, but man, you and your teammates meant more to me than I ever done anything I ever done for you, bro. And you're a good kid. I love you to death, and just keep on doing you, man. I ain't playing no D1 football. I was just a bum. But I just love being around it, and I enjoy it. I don't try to perpetrate that I am something that I'm not. Just a old, crazy, almost 36-year-old father who just love his daughters and just love playing, you know, coaching football and just actually building genuine relationships with people. And I just block out the world most of the time. Like I sit here and play Madden and laugh with my friends and laugh at Crowell looking like Wayne head, but I love these interactions. And man, just stay true to the people who actually respect you and care for you, man. Like Pep's A1 in my book. I'll do anything for Pep, and he know that. But that's the word on the street, man. Be more genuine and just be around people who really do enjoy you, and you really don't gotta always respond to negative energy. Like, it is what it is. I don't know why some people don't like me. I'm goofy. I sing Dolly Parton. I like Queen. I sing Bon Jovi every morning. You know, living in a prayer. That's my joint. Y'all saw me today. I was getting it this morning, but hey, I just love life.
Oh, that's Coach Billis, boy. I tell you, it's one of a kind, man. It's one of a kind. That's why he's on the show. I think all of us are just, you know, our own people, man. And that's no one on this show, you know, has this thing with conforming to society. That's what one of the loyal viewers was telling me the other day. He was like, you guys are just real. You don't care about the reaction of what you say. And I mean, that's true. That's true, man. I mean, you know, that's the only way to be. I mean, that's genuine. That's what we try to be, is genuine. That's the best way I can put it. So thank you, Coach Bills, for that wonderful word on the street segment. That was good stuff, man. All right, we're going to go to Ask Cherie, and we're going to bring on the queen of CFI, Cherie Glenn. And I've got 3 questions for the queen this week. Pretty tame, I think. You know, we're not going to go too hard this week. So the first question we got, what is your favorite food?
Oh my God. That's like a loaded question. I mean, can we do
How's it loaded? It's your food.
Can we do like categories? Can I get, because I mean, I like a lot of food.
Category?
Yeah.
Okay, we got some time. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, so I love chicken wings. I love sandwiches. I love okay. I got it. Spaghetti is my absolute favorite food. I can eat spaghetti in any capacity. It could be turkey meat, chicken, freaking ground beef, vegetarian. I can eat spaghetti in any capacity. So that is the answer. My favorite food, spaghetti.
All right. See, that wasn't hard.
It wasn't hard. I just had to think for a second.
All right. So we do have one sports question this week.
Okay.
They're asking, how do you keep up with so many sports in your life? Because we know you do the high school stuff with us, you do the NFL stuff. And then you do follow college football too. So how do you keep up with all that? Is what they want to do.
So I work at a restaurant that allows me to do that. A lot of the times when I'm at work, and it's crazy because like if I come to work after I've been off, it'll be on like Channel 4 playing the stories for the day or Wendy Williams, and then I'll come in there and I'll change.
Oh God!
So like, I'll have one on Sports Center. I'll have one on FS1. I'll have one on if there's a sports something going on somewhere else. I have it on there. So that's really how I do it. My job, like I said, it allows me to do that. And then even when I'm not, like I'm following it on Twitter or somewhere where I can at least get the scores for the game. And then afterwards I watch highlights. So I have a plethora of ways to keep up with my sports.
Excellent. Good stuff. This last one is interesting. And this one was sent in anonymously, so I don't even know who sent this in, but it says, ask Cherie with her beautiful smile, what is her most embarrassing moment? So I read it the way they said it.
Okay. My most embarrassing.
You have an admirer out there.
Yeah, I probably know who it is too. Anyway.
All right.
my most embarrassing moment, I'd have to probably say I was at Independence High. I was in like the 9th or 10th grade, and we had to go change out for PE because that's what we used to do back then. And I fell down the bleachers. And so that was probably the most embarrassing moment I can think of. When you're in high school, you try to be cool. I was not really cool in high school anyway. And so, adding that level of embarrassment to my, resume didn't really help me. But, it's cool. I'm cool now to me. So,
You are. You're the cool queen of the show. You keep us all in line most of the time.
No, I don't. I really don't. But I enjoy it. I don't, man. Be off the chain on here sometime. That's what we do.
Well, thank you. Exactly. Thank you for sharing that. That was another lovely Ask Cherie segment. Submit your questions to us on Twitter at Petman704. or on Facebook, Charlotte Football Insiders, or Instagram, Charlotte Football Insiders, or if you're watching this, you know how to get in touch with us. So please send your questions in for the lovely Cherie Glenn. Thank you, Cherie. Appreciate it.
Uh-huh.
All right. So now we're going to go to our next segment, which is we're going to the schoolhouse with Kenny Mcclamrock, who is back once again after a week off. So we're going to see what Kenny's got to share with us.
What's up, Pep? So this week, Cabarrus County Schools went back to school. This was day 3. We came on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Tomorrow will be day 4. Friday, we're going to remain out of school, what they call asynchronous, where a teacher gives an assignment, the kids do it on their own time. The way that Cabarrus County is doing it, I do really like the setup. Half the students, the last names A through K, go on Mondays and Wednesdays. The other halves, L through Z, go on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And right now, I'm at about 60% in-person attendance. Obviously, those are divided up between 2 days. So I've got some classes where I have 12 kids, several classes where I have 8 kids, and then I have a class that's as small as 3 just because the way the alpha range fell. But it has been a good 3 days in Cabarrus County. We are not allowed to do any new instructional content this week, kind of during this transition week where kids are trying to figure out a new system, teachers are trying to figure out a new system, new hallway traffic patterns and lunch and dismissals and all those types of things, even when kids can come in the building in the morning times. But it's been fairly smooth so far. Has not been a whole bunch of kinks in the way. and I want to say this as politically correct as I can. I think because students are not learning new material, teachers are not teaching their smaller classes and less people roaming the hallways and all that kind of stuff. It's actually been pretty mellow these first 3 days, almost sedated, like the students are on some sedatives or something. But I think next week when teachers are able to kick it into gear and get back to teaching, I think that's going to pick up. It'll be interesting to see what happens. Reports came out on Sunday night that somebody, we don't know if it were students or teachers, but there were someone's, plural, involved in a high school in the county who I already mentioned earlier in the show had tested positive. Reports have came out while the show's going on. I've gotten several text messages that potentially another teacher has tested positive in the county at another high school. So we'll see what all this brings. Of course, I think Governor Cooper came out with some Paul's deal. Paul's like pardoned dude that was in prison for 44 years and no retribution, I guess. But so overall, it's been a good week. We'll see what next week brings. It'll be interesting to see the kids who are in class from 7:15 until 2:15 and 4 90-minute periods wear masks all day. It'll be interesting to see if those guys kind of get tired of doing that when their buddies are at home doing 4 45-minute periods with a 2-hour lunch break. It'll be interesting to see how those in-person numbers change potentially in the coming weeks. But I am at about 60%. It's been a good 3 days so far.
Ken, I want to ask you something. Being in the school and the mask, and masks are required. Is everyone complying with that from a student perspective?
Yeah. I'll tell you what, Pep. Several weeks ago, I do driver's ed in the afternoon. That's a side hustle I do. I drove past Notre Dame High School about the time they were releasing students, and I probably saw 75 students leaving the buildings, and it was 75 for 75 students with their mask on. And probably 70 of them were socially distanced. The kids have been awesome in all of my classes now 3 days. I mean, I've had one kid that I've had to say, pull your stinking mask up because he kept pulling it down. But otherwise, the kids have been awesome. The teachers have been awesome. The kids took the one-way traffic and at the new school where I am, it's a big building. I mean, it is a huge lap. The kids have to walk all the way around to the bathroom. But they've done it awesome. The kids have better than I expected. Everybody gets their temperature checked. This is pretty neat. They check your temperature with a scanner, think a metal detector, but you stick your wrist up to it, and it takes about a half a second to do it. The kids are asked a couple of questions. The teachers get an email every morning. But I've been really impressed at just how well the kids have adjusted to this new way of doing things. Even the long walk to get to the bathroom has been really impressive on their part.
Awesome. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. That's really good insight, man. I appreciate you sharing that. Awesome. Good deal. All right. So we're going to finish up the show with Pep Man's players. We'll do the wing rankings next week. I got some good ones, but just in the interest of time for the 6 of you that are still watching live, well, 7. Well, now we're back to 6. So I think that one person wanted to see my wing rankings, but next week we'll have them ready. Pep Man's players this week. I've got a few players from the game we covered last week, which is Providence Day and Charlotte Christian. What a great game. I mean, Providence Day won that game 32-28. Christian was up 28-17 in that game mid-fourth quarter, but then, Providence Day came back and they hit a slant and go route to Thomas Flynn, who's one of our players. Got a 2-point conversion, cut it to 3. Defense came back and made a stop. The next drive, running back Peel scored on a 30-yard touchdown run where he ran through like 5 tackles. It was incredible. And then Providence Day was able to hold off at the end. Christian drove down to the red zone, but they couldn't punch it in on the last play of the game. So, I mean, it was a great game. It was a lot of talent on the field. The first guy I want to highlight is Jake Helfridge, Providence Day quarterback. We talked to him after the game. I mean, he's more of a pocket quarterback. But he stood there against some pretty good pressure, sometimes, and made some really, really big throws. I'll tell you, I think the touchdown was nice, but the 2-point conversion was even more incredible. He was able to get out of the pocket on the run and find his receiver It was Flynn again on a 2-point pass that was just pinpoint accurate. Without that, it'd been more difficult for them to win the game. But talk to him after the game. He's a well-spoken young man. I think he'll be able to help a college program for sure. We talked to Thomas Flynn after the game, the kid that caught the slant and go for the touchdown and the 2-point conversion. He also turned around and played linebacker and defensive tackle, which is hard to do on any level of football. But, play a little bit of Iron Man football. Another well-spoken young man, very talented. I can see him playing on Saturdays. And then the third guy from Providence Day I want to talk about is J.T. Smith Jr. Talked to him over the summer, where's number 3. He's truly an athlete. He lined up in the slot sometimes. Well, actually, most of the night he was in the slot because they have a really good running back in Nickel Fields Jr. But when they spelled him, he would go in at running back. He scored the first touchdown of the game. He's got some Division I looks already. He's only a sophomore, so his future is super bright. And, that's someone that, Chad Greer can use to kind of help, build that Providence State program up. But, what a great job, Chad Greer has done in a short period of time, especially with COVID being a new coach, being able to come in, get a system together because they run a pretty, detailed offensive system. It's a lot of spread, no tempo, no huddle, high tempo offense. And that stuff is hard to put in, especially when you got, practice restrictions and all the things that are going on. So, shout out to those guys from Providence Day. From Charlotte Christian, I want to shout out 2 players. Henry Rutledge, the running back. They had a live stream of the game, which is rare, but a lot of people were watching the live stream, and we were there and we were tweeting out highlights and things like that. But I saw so many comments about this young man during the game. He had to have almost 200 yards rushing. He had 2 touchdowns called back on penalties. If he gets those, Christian wins the game, probably going away. But all that aside, man, just incredible vision, speed, and agility. Those are the 3 things that stand out about this young man. Hopefully we can get him on for an interview here real soon because I want to highlight him and, get him all the exposure that he deserves. But what a player, number 21 for Charlotte Christian. And then the quarterback, Matthew Tuamala. I've seen Christian a few times throughout the years. Their play calling, they run a lot of different things, and to be able to get the motions down, the formations down, and get everyone lined up is challenging. He did a good job with that. He had a really tough touchdown run where he was one-on-one with a safety, and he just flat out ran him over to get into the end zone. That was a great highlight. And then he could throw the ball as well. But Providence State they have some pretty good defensive backs. They have some good athletes back there. So it was kind of hard for, Tuamala to get the ball to his receivers on the outside. But, he did a really good job in managing that game. And I've seen some other highlights where, they had some other games where they were able to throw the ball downfield. He throws the ball really well. So, he's doing a really good job. And, the way this short season is going for them, they'll probably see, Providence Day again in their, state championship game, barring an upset. Because right now those look like the, top 2 teams, in the little 4 quad system that they've got going on. But we'll see what Country Day can do. They've got Providence Day this week, and they won last week over Latin. So that'll be an interesting game to see where they stack up in this hierarchy. So. But yeah, that's Pet Man's players, and with that, that's gonna be the end of the show this week. So, I want to thank everyone for watching. We'll be back once again next week with a lot more of the same segments that we're starting to come and love. We'll see who the loser of the week is. I should play the video again, but I ain't gonna do that to Shirley. But on that note, you know what? We're going to end the show with the video. Enjoy the video if you're still watching. Good night, everybody. We'll see you next.
Steelers. I'm actually going to go Cleveland on this one.
Stop it out.
Let's see. Rams, 49ers. I think I'm actually going to go Rams on this one. The 49ers looked like a dumpster fire last week. If that's any indication of what the rest of their season is going to look like, I'm going to have to go with any team that plays them.
Stop it out.
Cardinals at Cowboys. I'm actually going to go Cowboys on this one. I think that Andy Dalton's got something to prove. I know Dak's out, so this is going to be a game for them to kind of like boost the morale. So I'm going to give this one to Dallas. And then the last one, let's see, we got Packers at Bucks. I think I'm actually going to go Green Bay on this one.
Stop it out.